today I'm making an unpopular K-pop opinions video. This quarantine has got me really bored, so I'm gonna try something different, okay? Let's go. Also, please like and subscribe while you're here. My first opinion is that I like cute concepts more than girl crush concepts, okay? I think they're superior, personally, because honestly, the amount of girl groups and solo artists that are doing girl crush has kind of made it lose its specialty, you know? It's just kind of what everyone's doing. It's not as unique anymore. Not saying every group or solo artist who does girl crush isn't doing a unique concept. It's just, I think most of the time it's kind of very similar and it's kind of boring now. Girl crush concepts aren't inherently more empowering than cute concepts. I want Produce 101 / Produce 48 to come back. Now, I know the whole scandal with it was really upsetting for many people. It was really unfair to the idols and trainees who were in those shows because of how rigged it was. But honestly, that show gave tons of idols and groups and trainees exposure, and they created some really iconic and amazing groups from that show. So if they decide to start making Produce 101 again, I will not be upset. Now, it will probably be rigged. No matter how hard they try, someone somehow is going to pay some money under the table or something and get someone to be in a position that they weren't supposed to be in. And as long as it's not as big of a problem as it was with the last few seasons, I think it's fine. It's obviously not okay to rig shows like this, but it's inevitable in reality TV. Another thing that's kind of ridiculous is standing a company. Now, I don't mean people who tend to like a lot of groups from the same company. I mean people who are like, oh, I stan this company, you know, I like their business policies. It doesn't make sense to me. CEOs, although they may act like they care about the idol's interests, the group's interests and stuff, and maybe they do to a certain degree, but ultimately they will do what is best for their pocketbooks and the pocketbooks of their investors. They do what they want so that they make money, which means that they can flip on their policies if they think that it's the best for them. They are not your friends. Companies are not your friends. I think a lot of people need to understand this. Stan groups, stan artists, stan idols, but do not stan companies. I don't think Blackpink is going to have a pink or cute concept anytime soon. So I've seen a lot of people and they're talking about Blackpink's upcoming comeback and their album that they think is going to be pink, or they're like, oh, we need a pink comeback. And I would like to see them do a more cute, brighter concept too, but I don't think it's going to happen for many reasons. The first reason is that girl crush is the most popular concept right now. So it makes more sense to do something that more people are fans of right now and is more popular right now than to do something that most people, or at least most international fans, which is a large part of Blackpink's fan base, don't like. Blackpink's most popular comebacks, at least from my point of view, have been their darker, more hard-hitting concepts, the quote-unquote black opposite to their pink concepts. So I don't really see why they would switch it up from what they know sells. Standing a temporary group isn't bad. So when I first got into K-pop and I heard about temporary groups that were made from TV shows like Produce 101 and stuff, I thought it was silly to be emotionally and maybe financially invested in those groups because they're just temporary. But as time went on, I realized that every group is temporary. Every group will eventually disband. Every group will put out their last album, their last single. They'll have their last concert. It's just that we don't know when that is. And they don't have a set date when it's going to happen. So stand who you want, listen to who you want. Time is a social construct. It doesn't matter if a group is temporary or not. Just enjoy the music. You shouldn't dislike a group because their fandom has a bad reputation. Okay, so I never really understood this. I don't think I'll ever understand this. But people who refuse to listen to a group or give a group the time of day because of how some of their fans act is silly to me. Because if you like a group or you stand a group, it should be because of their music, or maybe it's their dance or their rap, or maybe you really like their personalities and how they are as people. But it shouldn't be because of who else likes them. It doesn't make sense to me. You can also just casually listen to a group or a solo artist and like their work without necessarily being a part of their fandom. You don't have to engage in fan culture to be a fan of someone. Okay, so this is kind of a more touchy subject, but I feel like most people who, whenever a K-pop idol or group gets involved in a scandal or drama involving cultural appropriation or colorism, I feel like a lot of people don't understand why those things can be harmful. Obviously not all, but for example, cultural appropriation, a lot of people see it as a non-issue, and it's not as bad as other things that people can do in the world, but it's still harmful because it promotes stereotypes of minorities. And the more the stereotypes are perpetuated, the more the general public starts to believe those stereotypes. And that can be harmful to minorities because it traps them in kind of a certain image, a certain light. And so I feel like people need to be more open-minded when they're discussing these things, because I think everyone is already hardly set on one side or the other. They're either super against or for certain things, and I think people need to be more willing to listen to the other side.
Can't take it no more. Get it.